Night Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA, presented by Land Rover. Another gorgeous night. What a way to wrap up this regular season at beautiful Dodger Stadium. Game 3 between the Padres and Dodgers as the Dodgers look for a series sweep. Joe and Oral and Alana joins us in just a moment. Last night the Dodgers set the LA record for most home wins. It has been a really special year here at Dodger Stadium.
It has been. 3.7 million fans come through the gates again, the 5th time that happened. That's absolutely amazing, and these Dodgers rewarded all those fans, playing almost 700 ball here at home. They're going to continue to play some home games, but no more regular season ones.
Next one in here will be next Friday night for the National League Division Series. We've been talking throughout this series about several guys looking at a deadline to try and get going into October, and last night some pretty encouraging signs.
Yeah, there was some light at the end of the tunnel for 3 guys, and I'll tell you what, at second base, Logan Forsythe came here as a powerful bat at second and a consistent bat, and it looks like he's starting to find that again. Then a streaky bat that sits behind the plate and catches Yasmani Grandal. I'd love to have that hot streak continue into October. He looks like he's gotten started. And the number 2 spot, the foundational piece of this offense, Corey Seager, struggling through one of the worst months of his career. This time it looks like he's on track.
For another member of this Dodger roster, we go down to Alana.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. Veteran left-hander and first baseman Adrian Gonzalez with the double and the home run yesterday. Very likely his last of the 2017 season. Of course, a good game yesterday offensively, but still dealing with that lower back tightness. Today he had a conversation with Dave Roberts that he just wasn't feeling right, and they have effectively shut down Adrian Gonzalez for the remainder of the 2017 season. So no postseason roster for Agon. Dave Roberts confident he will be ready to go in spring training, and Adrian Gonzalez telling us earlier today he looks forward to being an everyday player next year.
And I guess the positive spin on that is what a way to go out in 2017 for him with a double and the home run last night. Final regular season game at Dodger Stadium. It's against the Padres, and it's next here on Sportsnet LA. Is brought to you by Land Rover, above and beyond. Sunset, ready for baseball. The final game here in the regular season. Rich Hill ready to start it. 37-year-old out of Milton, Massachusetts, who's turned this into a really nice season after what looked like maybe a long year for him. Early on, struggling with the blister issues, struggling during spring training with a bit of a tired arm. But as he's gotten healthy, he's gained confidence again, pitching with conviction, and has turned it into a nice full season with the Dodgers here.
And going for his 12th win tonight, which would be a career high for him. And Rich Hill had a marvelous July, a bumpy road through August, almost an ERA of 5, and now here in September it has really been good. The 4 starts here, 2 earned runs or less in all 4 starts, dominating with both the fastball and the breaking ball, and this will be a nice test for him as a warm-up for the postseason against this young San Diego lineup.
We talked about it during the pregame show, but it's an interesting dynamic in that he probably is going to be the Game 3 starter, which isn't for another 11 days.
There's a lot of rest, so this start can just kind of be all by itself. The most important thing is for him to come out of this feeling good about his performance and also doing well and being healthy. That would be the key for Rich Hill. I don't think they'll pitch him in relief in Colorado. This will probably be the last competitive balls that he throws until the postseason game.
Padres have seen him a bunch and still trying to figure him out. 4 times since he put on a Dodger uniform he's faced him, and he's 3-0 with a 113 earned run average. Manuel Margot to lead it off for the Padres, who have dropped 4 of their last 5 games after a pretty decent stretch earlier this month. Off we go with a fastball for strike 1. Closed captioning tonight brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. The Dodgers won 5 games in a 25-game stretch. They followed that by winning 5 of 6. Magic number to clinch home field in the World Series now at 2. Every Dodger win, every Indian loss will drop that number. 1-2.
Really exciting for this Dodger club. Historically, they've been to the playoffs 8 out of the last 12 years. This team has been to the playoffs now and won the division title 5 years in a row. And there is a little frustration that they want to go deeper into those playoffs. And now that you've made it and won the title, that's the focus.
A little frustration. I think there's plenty, huh?
They're just couching it a little softer way.
1988 was a long time ago.
That would be deeper into the playoffs we get there. That'd be awesome.
Game 1 will be Friday night in this ballpark next week. Question is who it will be against. Will it be the Diamondbacks? Will it be the Rockies? Will the Brewers figure things out over the weekend? Because right now they're struggling. Colorado convincing win today. Margot behind a fastball. Hill starts the night with a strikeout. That brings us to our Honda keys of the game.
Second baseman number 20, Carlos.
There's a few of them out there. Keep the offensive momentum. Logan Forsythe finding his swing. Yasmani Grandal finding his swing. The offense keep going. Win for Rich. He'd love to have that 12th win, and I think the club would love to get it for him. And Kenley Jansen will pitch today. That's been announced by Dave Roberts in his interview with Alana. So get him out there and help. I'd love to see it be for a save, but just make sure he gets a good, healthy inning.
Carlos Asuaje takes a strike. Not been any opportunities for him in this series. 9-3 in game 1, 9-2 in game 2. There's a flare into center that Chris Taylor runs under. 2 up and 2 down.
You got to check your scorecard when there's a fly ball to center. Dodgers have been having Cody Bellinger's been out there. Chris Taylor, of course, will probably be out there most of the time in October. Jock Peterson has been out there. Alex Verdugo in September has played out there.
Two up and 2 down. Here's Will Myers. Probably the most notable name in this Padres lineup that's dead last in baseball this year, scoring under 4 runs per game. Part of that has been that Myers, their best hitter, has struggled for much of the year. He's gotten it going here in September and has hit 29 homers, which is a career high. But outside of the home run numbers, constant tinkering, constant adjusting of mechanics. He just has never really gotten comfortable this year.
With Myers and Renfroe sitting in the middle of their order, as a team coming in to play them in a series, you really just look which one's hot right now.
Little pause in the delivery, and Hill pumps it by him for a 1-2-3 first. Bookend strikeouts in this first inning for Hill. Clayton Richard takes it when you come back. Against Clayton Richard tonight. Here's the lineup that heads up there with Chris Taylor after the night off last night, back in leading it off. Seager, Turner, Bellinger following up. Kike Hernandez bats 5th, and it's Logan Forsythe, who's heated up lately. Austin Barnes catches, and Yasiel Puig starts in right field. At 34 years old, he's the oldest member of the 40-man roster of the Padres, and largely because of his experience and his leadership, they signed him to a 2-year extension earlier this month.
Yeah, Will Myers is a foundational piece for the future on the offensive side. Clayton Richard is the veteran piece with the pitchers to teach them the work ethic and an example of how to go about your business. A rough up and down year this year, but he gets a lot of ground balls, a lot of double plays. Dodgers will try and make him get the ball up in the strike zone and then elevate it themselves and put it in the air.
Well, if you can think all the way back to the first series of the season, second night of this season, Clayton Richard shut the Dodgers out over 8 innings. But since then, in 4 starts against LA, has an ERA above 7. His first one of the night is at the knees for a strike on Taylor. As he feels rejuvenated, ready to go for the stretch run here in the regular season. And then on to the postseason after getting last night off. Most games he's ever played in a year. He's been a big leaguer before, but never a full-time starter the way he's been this year.
Every player will tell you when they finally get an everyday job and they're up here the whole time playing, that it is a completely different animal than being a utility player or being in the minor leagues.
Bouncer to short. And a high throw has Taylor aboard, but pulls up in pain.
A high throw, and then Chris Taylor trying to avoid. Oh, just slips there. Put a lot of pressure on that ankle. Will Myers goes up. Chris Taylor trying to avoid him. Then it kind of messes with his timing and his footwork. A little moisture on the bag there, maybe two. Anytime anybody has had a partial little scare, they have been very conservative with it. The bags are curved there on the top. It's flat in the middle to a point, and then the pressure of your foot going in kind of gives you some ability to kind of press into the bag and be stabilized. But when you hit the edges like that, those edges are a lot harder and they can be slippery.
He's going to give it a shot, and regardless of how he feels, that's heartwarming to watch him take off and run. Oh. He's going to stay in the game.
That will be a continued conversation as the game goes on. See how he feels after being on the bases right here in between innings. Every inning they will check on him. If there's any sign of a limp or swelling that starts, they will get him out, I'm sure.
Well, like we saw last week in Philadelphia, Justin Turner was hit on the hand and stayed in the game for a few innings, but eventually came out and then missed some time with that. Dave Roberts relaying to the dugout exactly what happened to Taylor over there. He's aboard on the E6 on Solarte at short, and here's Corey Seager looking at a ball.
As soon as he twisted his ankle there at first, I started thinking Bryce Harper and what happened with him at first base. Now he has returned to the Washington lineup. That one definitely wasn't as bad as Bryce, but scary moment.
I remember watching Harper's on the replay that night thinking, boy, I mean, I hope he can come back early next year.
Right.
With as violent as that injury looked.
Let alone one of those ones where you say, you know, hide your eyes if you don't want to see something gruesome.
Yeah, let alone come back before the end of the regular season. Two and on Seager here in a scoreless first inning. Richard throws and Seager takes ball 3. Told Alana Rizzo last night he finally felt something click. I'm talking about how much Corey grinds on his mechanics, how hard he works to try and find whatever it is he's looking for in his swing. He thinks that he unlocked that last night with a 2-hit performance, including a homer. 3-1 as he green lighted on 3-0.
Results are great, and he said that, but feeling something that he can repeat, that is the key to the quest, and he thinks they found something. And be outstanding for him and the Dodgers.
Figure there's probably some uneasiness about in Chris Taylor's belly right now as he wonders what it's going to feel like if the ball's put in play and he's got to run. Full count on Seager.
And how about the next time he touches a base, which could be going around second on a turn?
Seager gotten ahead 3-0. Now it's 3-2. Here it comes. And he walks. So Taylor can ease his way up to second. 2 on, nobody out. Justin Turner coming up as we look at our Land Rover Performance Spotlight. Charlie Blackmon today 3 hits for Colorado in a blowout win. So the gap now 7 points in the hunt for the National League batting title.
They'll be able to look each other in the eye the last 3 games. Justin Turner looking to get hot. Dodgers love to see that. Quest for that batting title. He has been the batting champion on this team all year.
And Taylor's going to come out now. Curtis Granderson will replace him. Kind of goes back to what you're talking about during this last month or so. We've seen them be ultra cautious. No reason to change that tonight.
Well, two good things right there. They let Chris Taylor jog on down to second, but that time that Corey Seager was walking all those pitches, I'm sure Curtis Granderson was getting loose. So somebody out to protect him and another guy loose now to play.
A strike. Good to see a smile. I'm not sure you'd see a smile that big if he was overly concerned about it.
Not immediately taken into the training room either.
Turner drives one to right center field. Margot angling over to the track. He leaps, won't get it. Right on the heels of Granderson is Seager, so he's got to retreat to the bag. A long single for Justin Turner, and the bases are loaded.
First baseman, number 35.
Justin has been carving the ball to right field the whole series. As we take a look at our Volkswagen replay, this is not carved over there. This is driven over there. Granderson staying close to second in case he tags. Corey Seager pulling up because there's going to be two guys at third if he keeps going. Chris Woodward did a great job. Seager looked up. His third base coach was emphatically pointing back to second.
That takes some calm. That takes a low heartbeat from your third base coach when things get hectic like that. Chris Woodward has it. Loaded up for Bellinger. Dodgers trying to pounce early on Clayton Richard. Ball one.
Some kidding of Justin Turner will be the longest single of the year.
A 370 and a base hit. Two balls, no strikes.
What do you think with 39 home runs and 95 RBIs with bases loaded, no out?
I think I wish it was 96 and that he could hit 40 and 100 with one swing. I'd take 40 and 99 though. 2-0. Big rip, strike one.
Not a selfish swing. That is just his normal swing, especially in a 2-0 count. Right here, most hitters trying to hit the ball in the air, get the sac fly, stay away from the double play. If it happens to hit a gap, get 2. If it happens to go over the wall, get 4.
That is foul, and it's 2-2. Clayton Richard just fired 7 1/3 shutout innings his last time against Colorado. Really good offense last Thursday. Dodgers trying to keep him from getting out of the first clean. Granderson at third, Seager at second, Turner at first. Richard having Hedges cycle through several signs before choosing this. Bellinger hits a towering fly ball to right center field, but he just got under it. It is plenty deep to start the scoring. Here comes Granderson, and for the second night in a row, Cody Bellinger produces the first run.
It's 96 RBIs now. The big fella just barely missed a granny.
At the corners now with one out for Kike Hernandez. Starting in left field against a left-handed pitcher, and pretty clearly this is going to be Kike's role in the postseason. And he's earned it with those 10 home runs, a .265 average against left-handers.
And in some ways, the .265 average is not, doesn't resemble how well he's swinging the bat right now. This is the best he's swung the bat all year.
Hit a double last night, came in to score a run. A pretty tight zone so far from Will Little. On ball, no strikes. This is where Richard has been able to produce ground balls and succeed that way. #1 ground ball percentage in the National League. Almost 60% of the balls hit against him are on the ground. This one's fouled back, and it's 1-1.
You got that one up. Those ground balls are produced by balls down around the knees. That pitch right there was about 6 inches above the knee. Something that Kike would love to get back.
On a 1-1 pitch, Hernandez takes in the dirt.
Richard really hasn't found his release point on that good sinker. It's either too low in the dirt and the batter can take it right out of his hand, or it's a strike and it's up and very hittable.
And he has been very hittable against the Dodgers, with the exception of that game 2 of the season. As you mentioned, 8 shutout innings. Now, the ground ball stuff that night hadn't been the case the other 4 times. His 2-1 is hit in the ground to third. Nice pick by Villanueva, and an even better pick by Asuaje to get it out at second. But the Dodgers get their second run as Seager scores.
Ball's hopping all over the infield, and Kike is like, hop again, please, so I can get down to first, get us an RBI, another run. And the bad feed gives Kike plenty of time to get down to first.
Dodgers 2, Padres nothing, and from one guy who's swinging it as well as he has all year to another. Logan Forsythe. Came off of the bench, had a walk last night, but in game 1 of this series knocked in 4 with a bases clearing double and a home run. And last night nearly had another homer. Man, it's a tight zone so far.
Logan Forsythe doesn't need that to have a great eye. He has an amazing eye. Take a look at the Audi pitch cast on that ball. Away slightly. I think going into the postseason that strike zone has been recalibrated. They want to make sure. And so it has gotten more and more accurate. Not to say that it was inaccurate, but everything in technology has a little plus minus to it. So they wanted to make sure that it was really precise.
We're talking our pitch cast.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been locked in now. So I really believe when you said, whoa, that's a tight strike zone, that pitch cast is, yeah, it's right there on the edge now. It's got it.
Pitch cast is peaking at the right time.
It sure is. Coming out of its slump.
0-2. Strike 3 call. Forsythe thought it was in. Will Little thought it was a strike. The Dodgers get 2 in the first and have a lead for Rich Hill.
And Logan Forsythe down on strikes last inning. Will Little is having a good night already. Away, he was slightly off. He called it a ball. In, it was arguable, but it was a strike from pitch cast. Boy, it barely touches the plate.
Curtis Granderson came on to run for Chris Taylor. He stays in and left, and that moves Hernandez to center. 2-0 lead for Rich Hill. Worked a 1-2-3 first inning, what seems like forever ago. The cleanup man, Hunter Renfroe. Hit his 25th home run last night, a new rookie record for the Padres. And one of those 25 homers came against Hill. On a 1-0 pitch, he fouls it back, 1-1. That's a strike, 1-2.
Rich Hill so far refusing to really show the curveball, trying to establish the fastball to the Padres.
Now the curve, it's away and the count evens.
Trying to catch that outside corner. That's the one with right-handed hitters. They will just give up on it because it starts so far over there in the left-handed batter's box.
Paints a fastball, 1 out.
Well, the most popular way to follow the Dodgers the rest of the regular season and in the postseason is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat today.
He's retired the first 4. Now comes home to Christian Villanueva, who has been something so far in his major league career. Homered last night for the 4th time in his first 9 major league games. There are only 2 other guys that have done that in Padres history, and ironically, they're both here. Will Myers, or Hunter Renfroe, beg your pardon, the guy that just went down. And the other guy is Yasmani Grandal. A curve spanked to third, picked up by Turner. 2 up and 2 down.
It's kind of what Trevor Story did when he came up.
Yeah.
Might even been more impressive there in Colorado. His first few games. Aaron Judge.
Judge was not so much out of the gate because remember, Aaron Judge has been around a little while, still had some games last year where he was only okay. Gary Sanchez was the guy in New York that got off to that crazy start. Strike 1 on Solarte. Trevor Story had 7 homers in his first 6 games.
That's a little better. Wow.
That's foul, and it's quickly 0-2 on Solarte. And Rich Hill coming right at him so far. 3 Ks over the first 5 batters, and has Solarte in an 0-2 hole.
So much fun to see him out there, confident in his mechanics, competing with himself, even when he gets a strike there on a foul ball. A little upset with his own execution. Positive results, but still evaluating the execution to an nth degree. That's when you know somebody is really locked in.
And when he is, what a Game 3 starter.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrapped it around the plate for a ball.
Well, the sequence to Renfroe was to try and backdoor the curveball, and then he came back with a fastball right on the edge, low and away, that Renfroe gave up on. Barnes wanted the fastball away. Hill wants the breaking ball.
Rich gets the ball back from the catcher. It was almost like he's in pain sometimes, the way he catches it and grimaces.
It's fun to watch. Lifted to left. Curtis Granderson is there, and Rich Hill's retired the first 6 that he's faced. Off and rolling. Final day at Dodgers Stadium on this regular season 2017. And the Dodgers with a 2-0 lead.
By Hankook Tires, go behind the scenes with the Dodgers as they clinch their 5th consecutive NL West championship. Plus, take an inside look at Tommy Lasorda's 90th birthday celebration as players past and present honor the Dodgers skipper and legend. Here at Chavez Ravine, don't miss Backstage Dodgers Friday after the postgame on Sportsnet LA.
Bottom of the Dodge order against Clayton Richard, and Austin Barnes looks at strike 1. Against the 34-year-old from Lafayette, Indiana, who's in his 9th major league year now. Started out with the White Sox. And this is actually his 2nd stint with the Padres. He was traded from Chicago to San Diego on the Jake Peavy deal back in 2009. He spent 4 seasons in San Diego the first time around before returning last year. Bounces this one by Barnes, and it's 2-1. He was with the Cubs in 2015 and then most of last year in their bullpen, but they released him in early August. Padres signed him soon after, and he finished the year with his best stretch in a long time. It's good enough that they wanted to sign him to this 1-year deal that he is currently pitching on. Barnes hits a tapper that will roll foul. That's unfortunate. Clayton Richard said, "I'm good. Are you okay? I'm the big one." Let's Cardinals cam it, Oral.
I think we should. These guys are world-class athletes, ladies and gentlemen. Please do not try this at home. This looks awkward, but well, I don't think it was planned. Which side? Where are you going? Wait. All right.
The main thing is they kept it foul.
Okay.
Now a 2-2 from Clayton Richard, and Barnes hits it foul. I mentioned Richard on the back end of that 1-year contract, but he signed a 2-year extension. hits, even though he's allowed more hits than anybody in the National League this year. That's how good his leadership qualities are, how important they think he is for their rebuild. He's a veteran voice.
You need those living, breathing examples. It's one thing for a coach to tell you to do something. It's one thing for them to talk about people they've had under them in the past that have had great work ethics or know how to go about their business. It's another thing to have that example. And then when that guy voices his opinion, it really reinforces all the good things that you're trying to get guys to do to become really their ultimate potential. Become professionals, understand the hurdles and what it's going to take. They've seen great growth on this team this year. Started out so slow and hovering around 500 the rest of the way.
Barnes knifes it down the line for a base hit into the corner. All Austin Barnes does is hit. A leadoff double here in the second.
Short, compact swing. I don't know what kind of fastball is ever going to get by him if he makes sure it's a strike. Fantastic at being able to time up any pitch and get the bat in the hitting area consistently.
Leadoff man aboard, and here's Yasiel Puig. One of his 26 home runs is against Richard. Puig a double and a walk last night in his first game out of the doghouse. Benched for getting thrown out trying to steal on his own for the final out of the game on Saturday night. So he missed Sunday for that. Then he was benched again Monday when he failed to show up for early batting practice.
Speaking of batting practice, today he was absolutely killing the ball and peppering the bleachers. Again, you're down there around the cage and you might be looking away talking to somebody else, and then you hear this sound and you have to turn around.
Chopped to short. Solarte throws him out. It doesn't sound like that. It sounds better than that.
Sounds better than that.
Yeah.
And it's just a sound that you just want to hear. Who's creating that? And you turn around and about 60-70% of the time it's Mr. Puig.
Rich Hill, who has made big leaps as a hitter this year. The last time he saw Clayton Richard, remember what happened? Hard to even watch.
It's hard to get back in the batter's box after that happens. Even harder when now you have to face him again.
Yeah, but this is a new Rich Hill. This Rich Hill rakes.
Gone to a bigger, heavier bat. He's standing farther away from the plate, especially in this left-on-left situation with bad memories from before.
You're right, that bat is huge.
Just want to have to swing it hard as much as just try and meet the ball, let the weight of the bat do the work.
Kind of looks like a weighted bat. That's an RBI base hit for Rich Hill.
You see him working. That's just a little short chop swing and let the weight of the bat do the work. Hit it solid. You might find a hole. He does more than that. He hits himself a linea.
Back-to-back outings with a base hit for Hill. And it's not a coincidence. This guy grinds at this. So the Dodgers lead at 3-0. Top of the order, Curtis Granderson. But his first at bat tonight. Came on for Chris Taylor after Taylor left the game slipping on first base while running through it. Check in with Alana.
Guys, make no mistake about it. There is certainly a friendly competition amongst the starting pitching staff about who is the best pitcher that rakes. Clayton Kershaw and Rich Hill telling us both when they were on our set this week earlier today that there's a point system that they have going on. There's certain points for being able to lay down the bunt, and actually certain points for being able to get a hit, and definitely more points for getting an RBI. Clayton Kershaw making fun of Rich Hill for the size of the bat that he uses. Last time Clayton pitched, he had that bunt that he got down, and he also obviously had a single as well. Rich Hill winning this week, though, with that RBI.
You know who can really put together an impressive batting practice among the pitchers is Hyun-Jin Ryu. He's a powerful man. I mean, what are we doing?
Will Myers is cracking up over there in between pitches. I don't know what George Lombard's saying to Rich, or Rich is saying to Will, but Will's holding his glove up by his mouth, so he looks a little more professional than somebody who's laughing.
I got a chunk of Hedges. First time they threw over there, Hill put his palms up like, really?
You already hit me in the throat once this year, dude. Throw the ball to home.
Stop throwing it at me.
Yeah.
Couple Michigan guys. University of Michigan guys, that is. Clayton Richard was actually a two-sport guy there. Went there on a football scholarship to play quarterback. Eventually lost out on the starting job to Chad Henne. And so focused on baseball. But Mr. Football and Mr. Baseball in Indiana as a high schooler. And the valedictorian at his high school. Granderson down swinging, 2 out.
Number 5, Corey Seager.
Corey Seager walked his first time and came in to score on that 2-run first inning. And here he is with a man at first and 2 out. Strike one.
Corey checking with Will Little, the home plate umpire. That last foul ball got a piece of him. Make sure he's ready.
Just misses off of the inside, ball 1.
Tries to run that little sinker slash two-seamer in on lefties and then take the slider and walk them off the plate away.
Now he throws the 1-2. Seager barely gets a piece to stay alive. Turner due next.
You'd love to follow up a good night yesterday with another good night if you're Corey Seager, to really feel like you're coming out of the slump, the hole, whatever you want to call it, but a place where it didn't feel good.
Richard runs a breaking pitch away from him to get back-to-back strikeouts to finish the second, but the Dodgers add one on a Rich Hill base hit of all things. We move along to the third inning, and our Coors Light cold hard fact: the Dodgers have once again set a franchise record for most strikeouts in a single season. And look at the years that they've beaten. They've set the record 4 consecutive years. This is just how baseball is now.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities for a strikeout, and Rick Honeycutt and this staff, as much as he studies, and then the great arms of this pitching staff, the info coming from upstairs also, the combination of everything. Rick's coaching, the arms, the studying, the conviction, and the material, they have put it together and been very, very successful.
And the lack of care about striking out from hitters' perspective, relatively speaking.
It's fertile ground now to strike somebody out.
Jabari Blash swings at the first pitch, sends a skyscraper to the right field corner. That wall gets on you quickly, but Puig's there for the first out.
Sometimes the fans do too. Last night, had a fan reach over. The ball ended up looking like it was going to be an out at second base. Yasiel's great throw. Also could have been, after the ruling, a double, but Major League Baseball ruled that it was a home run on the interference.
Look what the Dodgers have done against Austin Hedges this year. 2 for 40. A 24-year-old local guy, J. Serra High School in Orange County. Padres drafted him in the second round, and he decided to sign instead of going to UCLA, where he committed. Curve is lined over Bellinger for a base hit. First base runner of the game for the Padres.
Pitcher number 3, Clayton Richard.
Get up. Almost.
Looks like he had enough hops. He just didn't quite get there in time. It was hit so hard.
There goes the no-no. They don't have to worry about that in later innings.
It was going to be an interesting thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it seems like every time Rich Hill has something like that going, there's an argument for why you shouldn't let him go. And it wouldn't have been a very strong argument, but last regular season start, final tune-up for the postseason. You'd hate to run a guy into the ground, even if it meant chasing history. I think they would have let him had it gone deep, but still, Dave Roberts would have been cringing over there watching.
It would have been come down to what is the best thing for the team, and Dave would have been on the hot seat, but it ended early. The drama is no longer there.
He was pitching well enough where there was a drip of drama, even in the third inning.
I was looking at it like, boy, if he can get to the fifth, he's got great stuff.
Here's Margot. Strike one. I don't think anybody will soon forget that night in Pittsburgh. A no-hitter into the 10th inning, perfect game into the 9th inning. One of the greatest losses ever pitched in the history of the sport.
You put that game on the backdrop of his path to the Dodger uniform. It's absolutely amazing what he has done in his life, and the difficulties he has been through.
He gets Margot with a fastball. The Padres are finished here in the third. They get their first base runner, but have nothing to show for it. To you by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica, the new benchmark of minivans. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new $4.99 Smoky Jack Burger combo, a small fries and a small drink, limited time only. Dodgers in front of the Padres 3-0, trying to pull off the sweep over San Diego to finish the regular season at home. Justin Turner has one of the 3 hits. Also a double from Barnes and an RBI single from Rich Hill. Clayton Richard lets the 1-0 fly. That's in the dirt for ball 2. With the hit in the first inning, Turner's averaged to .322, chasing Charlie Blackmon's .328.
Well, the Dodgers have really turned it around this year against left-handers, and Justin Turner, one of the main reasons, hitting .377 coming into this game off the lefties.
4-pitch walk to open the third. They've got Turner's resurgence against lefties. You have Puig, or you have Seager, who's become a reverse splits guy. Bellinger, a reverse splits guy. And Chris Taylor's injection into the lineup as a right-handed hitter hasn't hurt either.
PK a little better.
Austin Barnes.
Austin Barnes, yes, for
Logan
sure.
Forsythe. I guess there's a lot of reasons. But you're right, Justin Turner's turnaround, having been really good against left-handed hitters previously in his career, recapturing that, a big thing. Bellinger brought home a run with a sacrifice fly his first time. It's a low strike, 0-1.
Just above the ankles. That's like knee high.
It's hollow of the ankles, right?
Yeah, exactly.
One and two. Turner leads at first, 3-0 game in the third, and another 1-2 pitch to Bellinger misses low to even the count up.
You know, we can talk about the Dodgers turning it around, lefties versus lefties this year, with the guys that you expected. You know, a Barnes if he was in there enough, or Yasmani Grandal or Turner, the right-handers, but the left-handers are the most impressive with Bellinger and Seager to me. Because that's where you're supposed to fail.
Bellinger does here, 1 out.
And it was a huge turnaround where the Dodgers, you just don't all of a sudden line your lefties up. And that was the strategy last year when they were hitting 214. And you see this year now 251 as a team. It doesn't seem high, but that's very high when you're talking about a whole team.
From one of the worst to one of the best. And not just average, but when you're looking at OPS, you're looking at home runs. A much better team against left-handed pitching in 2017. One on, one out. Kike Hernandez hits a hard bouncer into left field for a base hit. So tonight he's driven in around with a fielder's choice and now has a single.
Number 11.
PK is doing better and better throughout the year, and it's about attacking strikes. He actually is starting to slow the game down, as Austin Barnes has admitted that he doesn't need to get 3 hits in 1 at bat. The more he does that, the more you're going to see his potential.
And you know, for Hernandez, last year he hit 189 against lefties. The year before that, he had 423 against lefties. That was the best average in baseball against left-handed pitchers. And he's been able to bounce back from the 189. So much so that that's his calling card heading into October. It's a base hit for Forsythe that Blash runs through. Turner scores easily. Into third goes Hernandez, and the Dodgers lead at 4-0 on a Logan Forsythe RBI single.
Logan Forsythe finds a hole, and Chris Woodward, the third base coach, is having a very good night. He has orchestrated some solid base running tonight as this ball finds the 6th hole when a ball's hit weakly third base coaches are sending the runners. When it's hit hard, they've got to hold it up. So it's opposite of what you feel with your adrenaline when you're pulling for your home team and the hitter and you see a bullet. You've got to stay calm. That's what happened when Justin Turner hit the right field wall. But then on that one, a little chopper through the hole. You got to get your adrenaline and your arm moving and score that run.
I'm enjoying that breakdown of a third base coach, because normally they're like umpires where the only time you recognize them is if they do something wrong.
It's completely opposite than what you're feeling as a fan, as a broadcaster, excitement of watching the game, as a teammate cheering as you watch the runners go around. They have to stay ultimately really calm in the middle of the excitement.
Barnes now bangs a base hit to left center field. It finds the base of the wall. Hernandez is in. Forsythe is as well, all the way from first on a double from Barnes.
Austin Barnes now with a pair of doubles. One down the right field line. Now this one slightly out in front. This tells you when you're on time as a hitter. The hard one you hit to right. The softer one out front a little bit. You hit to left center. Then Chris Woodward with the energy of sending him home again. He's going to need to ice his arm if this keeps up.
That ties the franchise record for most doubles in a season. Barnes second of the night. Now Puig. Austin Barnes against Clayton Richard is now 9 for 14 with a home run and 4 doubles. 9 for 14. A 1-0 pitch to Puig.
Nine runs on back-to-back nights. Now a 6th spot up there. We're not even through the 3rd. Does anybody remember a losing streak?
Three balls, no strikes. So 24 runs in the 3 games in this series, and still a long way to go tonight. And a green light on 3-0. He nails a base hit into center and makes it 7-0 as Barnes steps on home on a Puig base hit.
Second day of the season. I think the Dodgers got mad after that game. That was Richard throwing the ball well. Since then, they have just tattooed him in the RCL with the latest imprint.
Seven runs on 7 hits, and the bullpen gets going. And Rich Hill to the plate. He has one of those 7 hits. We look at our Morongo Casino Resort and Spa slow-mo cam at his RBI single last inning.
I thought we'd be showing strikeouts. He's throwing a shutout so far. He's shutting down the San Diego offense. But boy, it's Rich Hill batting.
All 9 men in the order have either scored a run or driven in a run tonight. And we're in the 3rd. Big time respect from Clayton Richard. Richard gets him this time. 2 out.
Left fielder number 6, Curtis Granderson.
And here's Granderson, who went down swinging his first time up, replacing Chris Taylor. So I guess technically not everybody in the lineup has driven in a run or scored a run, but every spot in the lineup has, because Taylor reached, and then I guess Granderson technically gets credit for the run. So I correct my correction. Strike one.
And I'm still not sure we're correct.
No, yeah. You know what I mean, though.
We're there. We just need Granderson to hit a home run here and just clear everything up.
I'd be fine with that. Tough go for him tonight. Plugged in against a left-hander in Richard. He will not face too many left-handers in October. Two and two. Count goes full on Curtis Granderson. Already 4 in the bank here in the third. And a walk and 4 hits against Richard. There goes Puig, going to pay off. The Granderson takes outside for ball 4.
One last check to see if he's ready, or they make the change. Gotta believe there's been enough time.
Looks like they're going to leave Richard in to face Corey Seager. The Dodgers, when Seager finishes his trip up there, will have batted around here in the third. 2 on, 2 out, and Seager swings in at strike 1. Walk and a strikeout so far tonight on a follow-up from that 2-hit night last night with a home run, 4 driven in. One and 2.
Corey Seager has had a marvelous year. I know we sit here and watch him and hope that he's starting to get hot.
It's a roller to first, so Will Myers will take to the bag. And that does it for the Dodgers in the third, but they bat around. Barnes drives in a couple. So do several of his friends. 7-0 after 3.
7-0 over the Padres in the final regular season home game of the 2017 season before they head to Colorado for a 3-game set in their final road trip of the year. The probables are like this. Hyunjin Ryu will pitch on Friday against Chad Bettis of the Rockies. Clayton Kershaw in his final tune-up will go about 3 or 4 innings on Saturday against Marquez. And then Sunday will be a bullpen game. The Rockies haven't announced their starter yet. As far as Sunday is concerned, guys, Dave Roberts telling us earlier today that Yu Darvish and Alex Wood certainly will not pitch at all, certainly not in a starting role and not even out of the bullpen. So it's a Johnny Holstaff day.
All right, in the case of Darvish not wanting to expose him, number 1, to Colorado, who they may see in the postseason, I think misses everything. And number 2, not wanting to expose him to Coors Field, which can do a number to your psyche.
And since they have home field advantage, I think you might have just said that he won't have to pitch there, even if it ends up being Colorado, which would be great. But I think you're right. It can ruin your release point even about what your pitches are doing, how they're moving, and a lot of your confidence.
Yeah, regardless of where you pitch next. Suaje hits a fly ball into short center field. Hernandez. Only 1 base runner against Rich Hill so far, and an Austin Hedges single last inning. He's K'd 4, including Will Myers, who bats here.
I hope in Clayton Kershaw's start in Colorado that he goes 5 and has a chance to get the W, because I think he really has a chance to win another Cy Young. Leading the league in ERA at 2.21. Scherzer's at 2.55. That title could be almost locked up. And then 18 wins, the only one in the National League with that many wins, and only 26 starts. 200 strikeouts. Batting average against, 3rd in the league. He has a very good case for another award, especially if he gets 19, because then nobody's catching the win total.
And wins, fair or not, are still really important category for a lot of voters.
Very strong stat. They're going to dock him a little bit for being on the DL and not having as many starts, but they can also project that if he was healthy, what he would have done.
It makes the 18 wins that much more impressive. 2 out. Forsythe puts it away.
So you can look at it both ways, and I think they will look at it in the positive way, some of the voters, because of what he's done in the past. And this is the best pitcher, maybe of all time, and for sure this generation.
Talked about it some in Philadelphia. It would be his 4th Cy Young. He'd be the 5th man ever to do it. Ball on Hunter Renfroe. Roger Clemens, Steve Carlton, Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux. Clayton Kershaw trying to join that group. Two and one. Again, worth mentioning, Cy Young Award wasn't around until 1955. It was only given to 1 pitcher until the late 60s. And then kind of the Sandy Koufax rule, they started giving one away to both leagues. He was hogging them.
Clayton would trade it all for a world championship, but since you can't make that trade, let's get both this year.
Hill comes back to strike out Renfroe. And as it is when he's locked in, that fastball may be 90, but it looks a whole lot harder than that.
Stadium at the Dodgers Youth Camp Series presented by your SoCal BMW Centers this winter. Campers receive a high-quality instruction from a bunch of guys. Top 20 prospects of the Dodgers will be included. Walker Buehler and Alex Verdugo will be there. To register, visit Dodgers.com/camps. And I need to go to that camp and get my lips replaced.
They do that there?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Wait, a camp.
I love you. I love your dry sense of humor. Oh my gosh.
Turner started last inning with a walk, came in to score. And here he is to start the fourth after they batted around, scored 4 times in the third. Hey, how about that kiss cam between innings?
It was exciting. It was interesting to watch, and some people were surprised and then got into it. Others looked like they were planning on what they were going to do when the camera hit them.
Yeah, but I mean, there's 50,000 people here. Can you really plan on being shown?
Well, if you're like Yasiel Puig and you know where every camera in the ballpark is.
That's true.
You keep looking around.
Looking for the red light.
We're on.
Go.
Well, the one gentleman had his hat on the correct straight way, and then the camera's on him, and he turns it around, kind of removes his glasses, gets ready to plant the big one on his wife.
One woman, before kissing the man next to her, kissed her beer. Turner down on strikes, 1 out in the fourth.
First baseman Cody Bellinger.
Bellinger still looking for his first hit of this series. So the Dodgers have done all this without much from him. 25 runs in 2.5 games. The Bellinger's 0 for 6, even though he's walked a few times. Richard throws, and Bellinger looks at a ball.
You think he's going to get 40 in the next 3.5 games? How about 100? We're at 96.
Yeah. I hear the ball flies where we're headed.
You just hear? You haven't seen that place?
The ball flies where we're headed.
Yep. And he's got some power.
Heard that too.
Yep. It's a reason to watch for me. I would love to see it.
With 1 out, the base is empty in the fourth. The 2-2 is cut on and missed for strike 3. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Richard to open this inning. 7 total for the veteran. Now face Kike Hernandez. Kike continues to talk with his family about once a day. They have a spot in Puerto Rico where they can go, where they know that they'll have cell phone reception, at least some reception. Although the call cuts in and out. He said it sounds like they're a mile away from the phone. It was not clear at all. But enough contact where he knows they're doing okay. That's high, 1 ball and 1 strike. They had been living at his grandmother's because she's in a building where there's a generator, and so there's power, and that's rare. The issue is, though, that there's a fuel shortage. And so they shut that building down because they didn't have enough fuel to run the generator. They're limiting people to $10 fill-ups at the gas station. Kike's family has 3 cars there that they can use. They're down to 1 at this point, basically trying to ration off the fuel in that to have transportation for as long as they can possibly get out of it. And just everybody kind of sitting there waiting for supplies to be allowed in. And Kike's family, relatively speaking, in a good position compared to what a lot of people have dealt with in Puerto Rico. It's a high pop fly. And Clayton Richard has his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. We've played 4. All Dodgers as they go for the sweep and win number 102. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Toyota's clearance countdown is on. Get huge savings on the last of the 2017 Corollas. And by Big O Tires. For tires, service, and straight talk, go to Big O Tires, the team you trust. Back at Dodger Stadium, where the Dodgers have a 7-0 lead over the Padres. And Rich Hill's given up just 1 base runner over 4 shutout innings. Christian Villanueva looks at ball 1. I know we've gone over Rich Hill's journey several times throughout this year, but we figured with one last regular season start, we'd take this opportunity to talk about it again. It's that good of a journey, good of a story to get to where he's gotten now. Debuted in 2005 with the Cubs and was pretty good early on. His debut start when Kerry Wood was injured. Got a no decision against San Francisco. Cubs had high hopes for him. Spent his first few years there. His only full major league season as a starter, even after all these years, though, the 2007 year. Had a sub-4 ERA, started every game for the Cubs. Final year with Chicago came in 2008, and that's when the injuries began. Just most of that year with back pain. Drops down here and misses 2-2 on Villanueva. 2009 found him in Baltimore in an Orioles uniform, and he was shut down mid-season, not with back pain, but even worse, shoulder trouble. So he got tests done on that shoulder, revealed that he needed surgery. Villanueva offers one away here in the 5th. That was the first of multiple operations that he went under. In 2010, finally able to come back from the shoulder problems. St. Louis this time, at least in spring training, and open the year in their minor league system for a few months. So here's a guy who spent several years in the majors, now dealing with a shoulder problem, now dealing with trying to get through the minor leagues again. Opted out of his contract with the Cardinals and signed a deal with Boston with Terry Francona. 6 scoreless outings in September that year. So that earned him an opportunity out of spring training the next year with Francona's Red Sox. 1 ball and 1 strike on Solarte. And he was getting it going again. Shoulder was feeling better. Maybe turned a corner. But then his elbow gave out. So from shoulder surgery in 2009 to Tommy John in 2011. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gets healthy from that. Comes back with Boston. Out of the bullpen this time. A 1.83 ERA in 25 games. But then, as you often see guys coming back from the Tommy John, the forearm starts to tighten up. That shut him down that year. Following season in Cleveland now. An ERA above 6. Solarte, the latest down on strikes. 2 gone in the 5th. 63 games in the bullpen with the Indians. A 6.28 ERA. That's not that long ago. That's 4 years ago. 2014, trying to find a home. 2 games with the Angels. Didn't record an out. So he goes home, trying to find a job. Gets ball 1 here on Blash. He's throwing a ball against a brick wall at home in Massachusetts, wondering if he's going to get another opportunity. And days later, he does with the Yankees. 2-0. Pitches well for him. Feel like a broken record now. Comes back from an injury. Pitches well. Comes back from an injury. Pitches well. It was the case here too. But at this point, he's a sidearm reliever. He's not the guy we see now. A 2-1. Next stop is in Washington. And yes, it feels like we're checking off every team on the major league list. This is 2015. Spent the first half in the minor league system there. Asked for his release at the end of June, though, because he wanted to try to be a starter again. He goes home to Massachusetts. Works out with his old American Legion team. And everybody was offering him at this point, but they were minor league deals. And there were offers to be a reliever. That is a walk to Blash, and the Padres have a 2-out base runner. Rich Hill, for the first time in a long time, was feeling strong enough to throw from over the top again. And so he was confident that he could be a major league starting pitcher. It had been a while since he had that kind of belief. So he stuck to it. Had the conviction that he was going to be a starter, wasn't going to settle for a relief role again. But in order to prove that, he had to go pitch for the Long Island Ducks in the Atlantic League. Here's Hedges, and there's strike 1. He remembers walking down the tunnel to the dugout for his first game in independent ball, and somebody bumped him on the arm and said, "Hey, by the way, that bucket over there, that's our bathroom here." No balls and 2 strikes. 11 shutout innings for the Ducks. Signs a contract with Boston. They say, we'll see what you can do as a starter in the minors. One of their starters in the majors got hit in the head during batting practice by an errant throw. And so guess who gets the call for his first major league start in 6 years? Rich Hill. Started 4 games that September. Had a 1.55 ERA. So Oakland signed him for 2016. Traded here to the Dodgers at the deadline last year. And this offseason capped off that journey with a 3-year, $48 million contract. The largest deal this offseason for any free agent pitcher. And 0-2 to Hedges. Ball 1. I say capped off that journey. It's probably not right. Hopes it. Crowning achievements about a month and a half away. A 37-year-old from Milton, Massachusetts. Hedges stays alive.
You know, the great thing is he doesn't wear that journey on his sleeve on a daily basis. He's never been woe is me. He's such a positive person. Fun guy to be around. Loves to analyze the game and continue to learn. Great teammate and great competitor. He has been through the wars.
He gets this one by Hedges. And that does it for the Padres in the 5th. Halfway home in a 7-0 game. Logan Forsythe, the lead off the bottom of the 5th for the Dodgers, and we check in with Alana.
Knee contusion, guys, for Chris Taylor again after he slipped on the first base bag in the first inning. Left knee contusion for CT.
All right. Well, good. So no structural damage in there. And Forsythe takes strike one from Clayton Richard. A little surprising seeing Richard stay in, huh? 95 pitches.
Yeah, I think you, as the Padres in their rebuild, would want to get one of their kids out there, get them some experience.
As Richard set to lead off next inning, maybe the only reason, or one of the reasons they send him back out. Here it comes with a 1-2, and Forsythe lifts it foul. Hogan 1 for 2, strikeout in the first inning, brought home around with a single in the 3rd, and came around to score as part of a 4-run output. Routine in center for Margot.
Live out your dream of becoming a professional baseball player and attend Dodger Fantasy Camp at Camelback Ranch in Glendale, Arizona, the spring training home of these Los Angeles Dodgers, on January 14th through 20th. That's next year, of course. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/fantasycamp.
Barnes has already doubled twice, scored twice, driven in 2. takes a low strike. And Richard has reached 100 pitches.
The pitch count never used to be up on the scoreboard. The fans really didn't know what it was. Ron Peranowski, our pitching coach here with the Dodgers at the time when I was active, had a clicker. And he would click them. And you'd come in after your inning every once in a while. He'd set his clicker down when we were on offense, maybe next to him, or maybe he'd get up and leave the clicker on the bench, and he'd go down and get a glass of water. And I'd watch him all the time when I knew my pitch count might be getting out of control. And so when he got up to get his water, I'd go over to the clicker and I'd turn it back to 0 and start clicking and get myself a number that was kind of within where I wanted to be. Because he didn't really look at it until Tommy would say in the 6th or 7th, you started to look tired. Hey, Perry, how many pitches he got?
That is awesome.
So, you know, I'd turn it back to 0. I'd click it up to about 56, even though I had 70. I'd steal 3 or 4 pitches an inning sometimes, or other times, you know, but you got to do it right. You got to wait till he gets up, or you come over and you ask him, you know, hey, who's coming up next inning? Can we go back over the sky report? And you make sure the sky report was away from him. He's got to now go away from his clicker again.
Wow.
Yeah. Fernando and I used to do that a lot.
That just goes to show you how small of a deal it was then, pitch counts, if he didn't pay close enough attention to realize it had been changed. Puig lifts one to left field. That ball is gone. Yasiel Puig hits another, 27th of the year.
Number 66 is the star of the Arco top tier play, Yasiel Puig with number 27. This is a blast, and that is the sound that he makes during batting practice that makes you turn around. That was pitch 104.
And it was only the second home run against a left-hander this year for Puig. Noteworthy that he does get one against the southpaw here. Hill grounds out. The inning comes to an end. The Dodgers have added one and a Puig home run. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Carl's Jr. introducing the $5 All-Star Meals. There's no better way to spend $5 only at Carl's Jr. Back in Los Angeles, one final time in the regular season. The Dodgers celebrating in style with an 8-run output over the first 5 innings. How about the StatCast on that Puig home run?
20-degree launch angle, 109 miles an hour off the bat, a maximum height of 67 feet, 431 feet total distance.
Cordoba pinch hitting the lead off this inning and can't lay off. Strike one. A curve, and Cordoba stands no chance.
I'd never noticed this on StatCast. They give you a time from
hang time.
Yeah, launch to landing.
Probably not much on that one, right?
4.9 seconds.
Right, we have no idea the context of that.
Would be a good punt.
It would. Coverage team would be down there. Fair catch signal.
Outkicked his coverage. Milwaukee got killed today by Cincinnati, 6-0. That puts them 2 back with 3 to go.
Hill with his 9th strikeout.
Center fielder Manuel Margot.
This is 5 really good outings in a row from Rich Hill. It is a nice way to go into the postseason.
He struck out Margot twice. And here he's going to get it out on the first pitch. Cody Bellinger, 2 out.
Dave Roberts has really been a steady hand. And you think about, okay, they had the losing streak. That's got to downgrade his resume a little bit as far as manager of the year, back-to-back years. I don't think so. I mean, everything he did during that losing streak and now saying that we just want to play good baseball going into the postseason. You watch a guy like Rich Hill turn his, month around from a bad August, a good September, keeping the team healthy, getting them ready to crescendo at the right time. Logan Forsythe coming out of his slump. Corey Seager starting to feel more comfortable. Yasmani Grandal starting to go. The guys that had been hot are staying hot. It's going to bring some attention to him again, but I don't think the slump is going to hurt him at all in the voting.
I think the big thing, not just for Dave Roberts when you're talking manager of the year, but for the team going into the postseason, it was just to get some semblance of the team they were earlier heading into October. Yes, you get a clean slate, but you'd hate to be reeling going into the postseason over what, if you kept the bad run going, would have been a month and a half of poor baseball. And tonight, they appear to be on their way to winning 6 of 7. That's outside and 3-1 on a Suaje.
And the games don't matter in Colorado, but it would be nice to make a little bit of a statement and keep playing good baseball. Win or lose, just play good baseball. Get guys over, get your fair share of hits, swing at strikes, take balls. Pitchers on the mound throwing strikes, being aggressive. Bullpen components doing their job. There's just so many facets that you're going to look at and critique, but also get all pointed in the right direction.
Second walk issued by Hill. Padres 1 hit, 2 walks. That's all. And now Will Myers, who's hitless in 2 tries. A curve for a strike.
Brian Hagan, who helps us out and does a great job with the statistics here at home and then sends us notes on the road. I asked him to look up some of the playoff heroes that had bad years and actually went into the postseason on a downturn. get some of those names for you in Colorado.
Oh, cliffhanger. I thought you were going to make us wait till the bottom of the inning. You're going to make us wait till the weekend.
I got to let Brian work on it.
Oh, okay.
He just heard about it.
Fair.
Presented by T-Mobile. As far as the National League is concerned, throughout the playoffs, the Dodgers have done what they needed to do with that #1 seed. If we take a look, though, at the entire playoff picture, they still have a 2-game advantage over the Cleveland Indians, who beat the Twins tonight. The Houston Astros also won today. Jose Altuve picking up his 200th hit of the season. They are 3 games back as far as best record in all of baseball, and the Washington Nationals could be an NLCS foe, of course. They are 6 games back as far as the best record this season. Dodgers looking to get home field throughout, all the way through the World Series.
All right, Alana, we've got a couple defensive changes for you. Alan Cordoba stays in the game and plays short, and that displaces Solarte to first. Will Myers comes out. Curtis Granderson, the lead off the 6th for the Dodgers against a new pitcher, Kirby Yates. Strike 1. Yates has been a nice find for San Diego. Got him off waivers. He's had a pretty good year.
Fastball slider change, average around 95. Pretty much a typical reliever, but not typical in his consistency and his abilities here on this San Diego staff.
He's from Hawaii, the Garden Island, Kauai. Had a brother that pitched in the majors, Tyler Yates. Ball and 2 strikes on Granderson. His father moved from the mainland over there once earlier in his life and just never left. And so he grew up on the Garden Island, which, if you've never been, it's not like there's a bunch of residential areas. It's called the Garden Island for a reason. Granderson unloads on a ball to right center field and gone. And for the 3rd consecutive night, the Dodgers have played at 9.
Curtis Granderson, like Yasmani Grandal, is a streaky hitter. If he streaks at the right time, he can carry a team. Picks on a changeup right there, just drops the head of the bat on it with a very smooth swing. You can see how powerful he is, even without Swinging the bat hard.
Now it's Corey Seager. And that's ball one. Took a hack at a high fastball, came up empty. It's 1-1.
There's your everybody who has hit or scored a run.
Yeah.
Corey's shaking his head at himself because he thinks that ball was a ball and he shouldn't be chasing it. Feeling good about the mechanics and how he feels in the batter's box. Second part of the equation is finding strikes. Third part of the equation, if you give it to me, is competing.
Seager turns one around. Way back to center. Margot at the wall. That one's gone. Seager's gone back-to-back with Granderson and has gone deep on back-to-back nights.
I think he got it all right. And it's to center field on time. We do need to let him know that he can smile.
Go ahead and tell him. Ain't gonna work.
It won't. We'll smile for him as this one clears easily.
Now Turner, rising liner to left field. This will hang in the yard for Blash. Hey, I'd like to hear the hang time on Seager's homer.
All right, now you're putting pressure on the old man. Making me
you
work
can work
the internet
app
quick.
You know the internet machine
There
like the
we
back of your
go.
hand.
Go there, you go here. Now I gotta scroll down to that. Now I gotta go to feed.
His modem is dialing up, folks.
Yeah, it's doing that little twirly thing in the middle of the screen.
He's logging onto his aim.
It's looking like that's Granderson's. It's not up yet. Granderson is 103.25 degrees. Maximum height of 77, 414 feet. I'll tell you what, I don't think I'm on Wi-Fi right now. I'm just going on bars. Apologize.
Cody Bellinger, the batter.
I'm going over to settings and turning Wi-Fi on.
Sweet.
Really giving you the play-by-play on my
sure
phone
are.
here. You look it up.
I'm sorry to put the pressure on you.
It's
You
okay.
and your phone failed me.
We got one out. I'm in good shape. I was worried we were in 2 outs.
We got 2 outs and 3 more innings, Oral.
Oh, no, I want to have it before this inning's up. All right, here we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Maybe.
Strike 2. Bellinger, the only guy in the lineup without a hit tonight.
Seegers is not up yet.
Third time Bellinger struck out, 2 away. It'll come.
I know. Granderson's is up. Justin Turner's flies out sharply. His ball was hit at 100 miles an hour, 361 feet. But nothing for Corey yet. Just blank.
Man, this is really disappointing.
I know you're disappointed in me. You're not disappointed in the app. Let's see.
I'm not disappointed. I'm just sad.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, don't be sad. We're working on 101 and almost 102 victories. We're in good shape here.
Jock Peterson with the bases empty and 2 out. It's not your phone, Oral. It's the StatCast data. I don't think registered on that one. It's not your phone.
Corey broke it. He broke StatCast.
You know, there's some people out there that are saying, why did he wait 157 games to break it? Still a faction that doesn't care for those new age numbers. High fly ball, but off the end of the bat. Lash is there. And the beautiful thing about the game is there is no one right way to enjoy it. Everybody can enjoy it a little bit different. Curtis Granderson hits his 27th of the year. One batter later, Corey Seager, number 22. A 10-0 lead through 6.
Dodger family by signing up now for a season seat or mini plan wait list. Registered fans will be contacted by a Dodger season ticket representative on a first come first served basis. Visit Dodgers.com/season tickets or call 866-DODGERS today.
Rich Hill back to work. Magnificent tonight. And Hunter Renfroe, first pitch swinging, sends one to the new center fielder, Jock Peterson. We got a new center fielder, got a new right fielder, and Trace Thompson, new first baseman, and Rob Seguin, new shortstop, and Charlie Culberson, new third baseman, and Kyle Farmer. It's that part of the spring training game where you stop keeping score over there, partner.
You're right. I did stop. Caught me
you
on a
too
second
well.
thing.
Villanueva looks at a ball. Dodgers outscoring the Padres in this series 28-5. That's a roller to Culberson behind the back, throws low, and Seguin can't dig it.
Charlie had a little bit more time than he thought. Villanueva did not get out of the box very well and wasn't running extra hard. It's a little flip throw right there. As you can see, no Villanueva in the picture. So about 3 or 4 strides away from the bag, he could have squared himself up.
So 1 out base runner, and Solarte hits. Young Hervis is a combination of his parents' names. His mom is Jan Mealy. His dad was Hervis. The 29-year-old from Venezuela with a man at first and 1 out. Foul tips it into the glove. It's 0-2.
They were back in the 3rd after the hit. I said, there goes the no-no. That's all there's been.
I know.
He was really had good stuff and 1 away from double digits in strikeouts. He's done that twice this year. He's had 10 and 11.
Hit hard in the left for a base hit. Second of the night for San Diego.
Field number 32, Jabari Blash.
Two on with 1 out. And suddenly some action down in that bullpen. It's Brandon McCarthy.
Boy, did he have a nice outing when he came back. This would be his 2nd one since coming off the DL. A new look Brandon McCarthy, depending on if he comes in and he's in the windup or the stretch.
Strike 1 on Jabari Blash. Strike 2 on Jabari Blash. Walker Buehler has joined Brandon McCarthy. Fly to right field. Trace Thompson gets involved in the action, making the catch for out number 2.
Catcher number 18, Austin Hedges.
Not a whole lot of drama left in the regular season, is there? I mean, it was looking like we had a few races shaping up to be exciting ones, but really the second National League wild card is it, and even there the Rockies have opened up a 2.5 game lead, as you mentioned, over the Brewers. The Twins have clinched the second wild card in the American League. The Twins. Remember what we were talking about with them when they were here in July?
Yeah. It was a debacle. They will play the Yankees.
That'll be Tuesday night in the Bronx.
And it's still really looking like Arizona plays Colorado. Could be Zach Greinke against John Gray.
Edges went around 0-2.
That one will be in Arizona.
Yep.
Top seed.
I have a question I want to ask you about the wild card format.
Okay.
But I'm going to save it for the next half inning.
Yeah. Broadcasting 101. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Don't ask a question.
That's why. 10 strikeouts for Rich Hill over 7 shutout innings. I'd say that's a fitting way to cap off the regular season. Looking ahead to October. LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Big O Tires. For tires, service, and straight talk, go to Big O Tires, the team you trust. How about Rich Hill tonight? Just 2 singles against him over the 7 shutout innings. And it's a really good run up to the postseason for number 44.
It's a great performance and a great launching pad to go into October.
Craig Stammen enters the game for the Padres and delivers ball 1 to Logan Forsythe. So I promised you I had a question for you. There is an article. So first of all, the reason the question comes up, we're talking about the 1-game wild card, which I think has in pretty much every way been good for baseball. The Yankees and the Twins are going to play a wild card game where if the Twins win, they move on. The Yankees season is finished. The Yankees right now 6 games better than the Twins over the 162. And so it brings up the issue of should a team that's been 6 games better over 162 really have its season end in 1 game? 1 ball and 2 strikes on Forsythe. And the follow-up to that is there's an article on Fangraphs written by Travis Sawchik who brings up the format they have in Korea, which I think is pretty intriguing. Two and two. So in this situation, just to use the Yankees and the Twins as a hypothetical, in Korea, if the Yankees win, they move on. If the Twins win, they play another game. The Twins win that as well, they move on. So the Yankees having the better record, they win one game, they move on. The team with the second best record has to beat them twice in a row to move on. What do you think?
I like everything about almost every scenario that draws out more games for the competition because you end up with a fair result. But the problem is you have all the other teams waiting.
Okay.
So do you eliminate travel days?
I have an answer for you.
Okay. Because I don't like teams waiting.
Forsythe cracks a fly ball to left center field and go for the first out. It's a double header.
Okay. Now we're talking.
And now we're talking about a day that everybody gets excited for. I mean, you're talking about like some March Madness type.
What if the Yankees only beat them in the regular season by one game? Is it
Doesn't
still
matter.
a double?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yep.
You've earned the same right.
Right.
One game you're going on. You have to win two if you're the team below.
So the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, so that's the case. Next Wednesday, they play a doubleheader at Chase Field. Arizona wins game one. There is no second game. Colorado wins game one. They play the nightcap, and the winner of that one moves on.
There's so many different things that I could say, and some of them have to do with money and contracts and people that have followed the baseball season the whole year. You want to give them access to that game, and some of the people will be at work if you're going to do that. You're not going to be in prime time, and you're not going to be guaranteed the second game's going to play.
Well, the
just,
division series is not during prime time.
I like it. I like it. It sounds exciting. It's, you know, I love the fact that we start with a game 7 already with the wild card.
Barnes with his third base hit of the day.
And I have officially stopped scoring. So we'll just continue this conversation.
I gotcha. Yeah, go ahead.
But I love game 7 right away. And the fact that you're almost extending that excitement during that day, that game. I also love the fact that if you have to play a doubleheader, and let's say the Yankees move on, but it's not until game 2, they come into the rest of the playoffs a little bit weaker because they had to use a lot of their pitching staff. Now you put more value on winning your division in the regular season.
And think about the fascinating storylines with pitcher usage in that doubleheader. Say the Dodgers were involved in that. Kenley Jansen closed out game 1 to force a game 2. You're going to use him again a few hours later to try and pitch your way into the division series?
I sure am, because the division series is 5 games, and maybe I have to rest him in game 1, and I might not even have a save situation. But I would probably, if Kenley says I'm ready to go, I would send him back out there to move on.
Charlie Culberson the batter now. Dodgers in front by a bunch.
But I also could have Rich Hill, my game 3 starter. Or something like that, close it out. It does bring in some new strategies, some new pressures, and some new things that you can earn and deplete the team that moves on and strengthen the team that did something more in the regular season than division champ.
I think it makes sense for a situation like you're looking at with the Yankees and the Twins, where the Yankees seem to have more closely earned the right to move on to the rest of the postseason. And I think it would add a ton of excitement. I mean, that would be a fun couple of days. On Tuesday, you could have National League Wild Card Day. Wednesday, you'd have American League Wild Card Day. It'd be fun. Through a 7. 10-0 Dodgers. lead, and we welcome you one final time in 2017 into the booth here. I think that we need to introduce the people to Boyd Robertson and Brian Hagan, don't you? I mean, they normally sit up here. Get in the shot,
get
guys.
Over here right
Come
now.
say hello.
Come on, say hello.
These are the guys that make this place run.
We got to get them in the shot right here.
I can't tell. They have
there
logos
they are.
in my monitor.
Lean
What's it
down.
look like over
Lean
here?
down, Brian.
There they are. These guys here are the very best. Dave Wolcott, where's he at? He's somewhere on the other side of one of these walls.
Oh, he left us.
He's up there somewhere, right?
So Brian does the statistics for us, and Boyd is the booth boss.
Yeah.
Takes care of us, mans the door, protects us, makes sure that we are fed and have plenty of fluids.
Water.
What a staff and what a group, a crew that we have.
Yeah.
I mean, what a transition it's been for us, too, because they are so good.
They've certainly made it easy on us. Brandon McCarthy's in here in a 10-0 game in the 8th. Working on Alan Cordoba. Yeah, missing away ball 3. It's crazy. Like, I'll finish a bottle of water, and as soon as I'm putting the bottle of water down, I almost hit a new full bottle of water. And you saw where Boyd stands. I don't know how he does it. He's a wizard, but there's always a fresh bottle of water right in front of me.
And how about if you turn to Brian and you're about to think, hey, can we check this out? And he's already got the card in hand. He's handing it to you. He already is like thought.
He's in your brain
in advance what would be appropriate at this moment, and you think turn to get it, and there's the card already written on with the number.
Get out of my brain, Brian. It's a leadoff walk for Cordoba.
Things that make you go,
We have, and we tell everyone this, but we have by far, I easily make this claim, and you and I have both worked nationally and been around the country and worked with different crews around the country. You can't touch this production crew anywhere else in America.
No, people are trying to pluck them from us. Please don't leave.
Margot looks at a ball low.
And so many of this crew, of course, have had Mr. Scully at the helm for so many years, and when you work for Mr. Scully, you're one of the best. So we have inherited the best.
And we understand it not easy for anybody to have people other than Vin sitting in this room, but especially the people that are closest to it, like Boyd and like Brian and up and down the production crew. And so for them to welcome us in the way that they have.
How many years Boyd with Vin? 28 years Boyd was the stage manager for Vin and traveled with him also. And Brian, how many years you been up here? 10 now?
Number 20, Carlos.
We're the rookies. They're the veterans. They show us the way.
Exactly. Well, I used to play golf with Boyd on the road when I was still playing.
Pretty good player, that Boyd Robertson.
Yeah, he was better, just like me years ago.
Strike one on a Suaje. And we have, I mean, unless you're in television, you wouldn't expect folks to know, but it takes a small village to put on a TV broadcast.
And a lot of food. These guys eat. They're here all day.
Yeah. How about our cameramen? How good are those guys?
The most important skill of a cameraman is listening to us or anticipating where we're headed.
It's probably the most painful part of the job, too.
Probably listening to us, yes. Yeah. These guys anticipate, they're there, and they actually lead you to the rest of your story. Maybe you don't remember a certain guy, and they take you there on the bench. There he is, and it finishes the story for you.
Rob Menchel, Darren Pattison, Chris Bancroft, Kurt Stroeve, Dennis Shannon, Rob Moran, Dave Bushner, Tim Dominic, Michael Krasnick, John Anthony, Fernando Thomas, George Aubie. List goes on. There are other guys too that make appearances throughout the year, not as in full of a role, but Those guys are something else, unmatched across the country.
We don't have quite as deep a roster as the Dodgers, but we have people that flex in and flex out.
There is great
They have
depth.
options.
You're right.
They don't go to AAA. They go to other big league parks maybe, or other large sporting events locally.
Here's Travis Jankowski pinch hitting and taking a ball.
We definitely don't have as many player moves as the big league roster.
How about our tape room? Willie, Michael Wilson, Norm Larson, Doug Coughlin, Travis LaFile. He also does some AD, so does Willie. Both those guys travel with us some. Mark Wiedemann, Howard Ruby, Brad Walker, and again, like the cameraman, others. It's impossible to do this without leaving somebody out who's contributed to this throughout the year. 81 broadcasts in the regular season.
It's not only the expertise that goes on, but it's the spirit. Because you do this day in and day out, and just like the players, you're around your teammates more than you are your family in season. So the spirit of the crew, and it's fantastic. They bend over backwards for us and for each other.
Full count on Jankowski. Our utilities, Miles LaFosse, Anna D'Amico, Angel Beltran. Ran into Angel tonight. Jankowski down swinging. McCarthy with a scoreless 8th inning. On to the bottom half.
Let's go Dodgers! Let's go Dodgers!
Dodgers brought to you by your Southern California Nissan dealers. John Hartung is all by himself. Hopefully he'll have an analyst. Oh, look, there's Jerry Hairston Jr. finally showing up at the last minute. Ned Colletti even a little bit tardy. They will talk about this absolute beatdown right now. The Dodgers with a 10-0 lead as we head to the home half of the 8th inning. Rich Hill with a tremendous final tune-up before the postseason, guys.
And speaking of the postseason, Alana, all those guys will be around during the postseason. Live pregame and postgame coverage. TBS will carry the National League Division Series. But pre and post, you can tune in, watch them, and Alana and Oral and Nomar will be in there, and be sure to tune in for that.
We're thanking our family out here at the stadium, but we have a family back in the studio also. Helps to put on a great show.
Brad Hand's first pitch, singled into center by Yasmani Grandal, and he'll now face Curtis Granderson. More people we want to recognize, though, in our video room: Stu Weselick, Matt Pascal, Darren Gallagher. I say video room. I don't know if there's actually a room. Yeah, kinda.
Inside the truck, there's a room. It's a lot smaller than the hotel rooms we stay in.
Granderson, a home run earlier tonight. Part of this 10-run outburst for the Dodgers. Here it takes outside. It's 1-1. Special thanks to our audio people. Anthony Hurd is our mixer. He's the man that puts together all the sounds you hear at home. Hardest part of his job is dealing with my nitpicky nature, though, when it comes to audio. Kind of a pain.
You know what you like. You know what's really good about that with Anthony is how much he's taught you. And when you ask about something, you know, he doesn't give you some basic, oh, okay, I got you announcer guy.
Yeah, right. No.
You know,
no.
You guys break it down.
I kind of like to nerd out on audio stuff, and Anthony does that with me. Francisco Koch has mixed some games. Matt Yerke, Dave Ensberg. We talked about Dave Wolcott earlier. He's up here in the booth with us. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Granderson. Russell Kadani, Nicole Shaw, and graphics. It's another spot that requires being great listeners, and they are.
Also fast typers. If I come up with an idea in the third and need it with 1 out, and all of a sudden they are just hammering away on the keyboard.
Third baseman, number 65, Kyle Farmer.
1 on, 1 out. Here's Farmer. Our ADs: Bettina Shore, Matt Graham, engineers Greg Woodhouse, Ron Plevnik. Patrick Correan is a tech manager who is on a daily basis putting out some kind of fire. In fact, one time literally.
You're gonna go there.
That's a ball. Yeah, that night where there were all the issues earlier this summer, there was literally a fire in the production truck.
For some of our crew that have been around 25, 35, 40 years, they said it's the first time ever they've had to deal with a fire.
Farmer goes up the middle, and the shortstop Cordoba feeds his Suaje, who turns it on to first for a double play. Got a few more names we want to share with you as the game rolls on to the 9th, where Kenley Jansen will try and finish it off. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Land Rover, above and beyond. Kenley Jansen on to pitch the 9th inning in a 10-0 game, where the Dodgers on their way to a series sweep, their 6th win out of their last 7.
He's really on an exercise program right now to time up with October 6th. There'll be simulated games, live batting practice, and all kinds of things from the end of the regular season till the first playoff game. But Kenley Jansen now and some of the other bullpen components will get scheduled work.
Middle part of the order, it's Renfroe. Dodgers tonight 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 4 in the third, 1 in the fifth, and 2 in the sixth. Home runs from Puig and Granderson and Seager. That's a strike, 1-1 on Renfroe. We'll continue our tour of thanking our wonderful production crew. The score you see on the screen is known in the business as the score bug, and Ricardo Avila runs that. Renfroe hits a lazy fly ball to left field for Curtis Granderson. He's got it, 1 gone. Megan Von Barron is, the title is runner, but that doesn't do justice what Megan does.
She is one of the more wonderful people that we have, like everybody, but she is a hustler, and she's on her way up, I would believe, because no matter what she does, as far as how small the errand, she wants to learn the business.
Yep, wonderful future. Christian Villanueva, 1 out, bases empty. Told you about Boyd Robertson, our booth boss up here. The boss down in the field, stage manager there is Dean Benson.
Yeah, and Dean's getting ready to go on vacation soon. I think it's about 7 days he'll be headed to Paris.
Man, he is a world traveler, isn't he?
He is a foodie also.
Ben Dillenberger is our TD and has also done some directing. Even tonight, Ben snuck in there and did some directing. Sippy, Bob Sipowicz, has directed some games as well. Also a tape op on our crew. Quickly, 2 gone here in the 9th. Rod Das was a fill-in producer for some of the summer and also part of the crew throughout the summer in other roles. And then 2 other guys, Mike Levy and Dustin Denty, our producer and director, who the guys that run the show are these wonderful men and women that we've just told you about. Mike Levy and Dustin Denty, the producer and the director of the best production crew in the country.
Well, you can't bring great people together that love to come to work and put on a great product no matter what's going on or what the schedule is, unless you have leaders that set a tone. And they set a fantastic tone and create an unbelievable atmosphere for everyone. Dustin really calls the shots. Mike thinks he does.
Yeah. Get him, Oral. Levy just got in our ear and said, kill Orioles Mike.
Kill his Mike.
If there are ever times during the season where you hear us begin to laugh and then it cuts off, it's probably because Mike Levy has said something absurd in our ear and we can't reach our cough button in time to block that beginning of a laugh. 1-1 from Kenley Jansen to Young Hervis Solarte. So thank you to every person we just mentioned and those that we didn't as well, because I know that you're going to miss somebody when you do that. And I know personally for me, I didn't do a good enough job of getting to know every single one of those people this year. But that doesn't mean we don't appreciate more than we can even express what you guys do. Solarte hits a bullet to right that'll keep things going, and it bounces into the seats for a ground rule double.
The fielder number 32, Jabari Blash.
Still building this relationship out here with Austin Barnes and Kenley Jansen. You think Austin gets an opportunity to catch all of the staff, of course, but how many opportunities has he had in the 9th with Kenley in the game? It's different, and it's something they are building very quickly with fewer reps than you get with starters and long relievers.
There's Blash. There's a name that probably doesn't fall under production, but the production doesn't happen without Shannon Lane.
For sure. He did me a couple of favors in the last couple of days and did them very quickly and made sure everything went smoothly.
Par for the course.
Yep.
Yeah, there are some people who get stuff done. Shannon Lane gets stuff done.
You know, there are, and not in our crew, but in life, there are people you tell and they say, yep, I got it.
And it doesn't happen.
Or you worry the whole time until it gets done. You never worry when you tell Shannon.
How about up here in the, in the food room? And we talked about James Mims the other day. One of the great parts of each day is getting to say hi to James when we come in and we go out. Jeanette and Maria, who take such fantastic care of us at dinner each night. All the chefs up here.
Yeah. They keep us alive. We come to work maybe, 2:30, 3 o'clock. Depends on when James looks at his watch and I get here. And then
3:30.
Yeah. And then by the time the game's up, everyone here in the stands has had maybe a few Dodger dogs and something to drink, and we've got to eat too. They take care of us.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's one happy family, and it has been a fantastic year. The home games especially with all of our crew.
$3.7 million fans, the best in baseball.
Largest total attendance in the big leagues, largest average attendance in the big leagues. Again.
A 1-2.
We'll have 3 more broadcasts, but no more here at home. That'll get turned over to the national crews. We're going to cover you from the studio pre and post. Get you all the inside stuff, because Alana will be traveling with the team and working as hard as she ever and always does.
A 2-2. And a 10-0 win to finish off the home schedule. 102 wins to match the Los Angeles Dodger record.
57 wins at home, over 700 baseball in front of the greatest fans in the world. The Dodgers thank you, we thank you. 3.7 million plus came through the gates and enjoyed Dodger Blue this year.
Tonight, 47,273 watched our Lexus player of the game, Rich Hill, spin 7 shutout innings and strike out 10 Padres in one final tune-up for October. He is most likely the Game 3 starter in the National League Division Series. That'll be the occasion for the next game in this ballpark next Friday. Will it be the Diamondbacks? Will it be the Rockies? Maybe the Brewers? One thing you know, it'll be the Dodgers. It'll be Clayton Kershaw in that game. For Oral Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Stay tuned for Access Sportsnet, brought to you by your Southern California Nissan dealers. The Dodgers exploded this series for 28 runs in the 3 games.